everybody, it's Garrett here from No One's Designs. So for Halloween this year, Jackie and I decided to do Finn and Marceline from Adventure Time, and I'm in charge of building the props. So for Jackie's Marceline costume, her standout piece is her guitar axe bass. And Jackie managed to find a old guitar neck, which is going to save me a lot of time from having to build one from scratch. Now, to ensure that the body that I build for this neck is to scale, I went ahead and I made a paper blueprint. Now, to do this, I created a blueprint inside of Inkscape, which is a free vector software. And I'm going to show you how to use that to make your own paper blueprints for any kind of project that you want to do. So let's go over to the computer room and take a look at how these programs work. Alright, the first thing we're going to need to do is download the software that we're going to use. So you're going to want to open the internet and go to inkscape.org. Inkscape is freeware, open source, and it works or has a version for all the different operating systems. So you can get it for Windows, Linux, or Macintosh. That is all you need if you are going to go and use a large format printer to print out your blueprints. If you need to be able to print at home from just a standard desktop printer, you're going to need to go and download Posterrazor. Now, Posterrazor also works on all three operating systems, and it's able to take an image and cut it into pieces so it can be printed out individually. So once you get both of those downloaded and installed, you want to open Inkscape, and let's put that away from now. The first thing you're going to want to do is find a image of the object that you want to create. I was able to find a JPEG of Marceline's bass that's just the bass by itself, just laying there. So it's probably one of the best images that I was able to find. Most of the other ones, someone was holding it or it was a fan image. This is actually from the show. The problem with doing stuff from cartoons is that when you're making blueprints, you want to get really big images because you're going to be zooming in on them and tracing them. I can't find any huge images, so I just had to deal with the fact that this was really pixelated. So, once you have your image, you've uploaded it, we need to trace over the entire thing. I use the line and point, or draw bezier, I don't know how that word's pronounced, draw curves and straight lines tool. This tool works by placing points. Point here. Oh, I have it locked. That's why it's not letting me do that. Point here. Point here. And then I can come in with this tool, the edit paths, and I can grab that line. Oh. There we go. Grab that line and bend the curve out so I can work on the curve instead of trying to draw the whole thing freehand because I am not an artist. But I'm also not going to make you suffer through me trying to trace this whole thing out. So we're just going to get rid of that. Relock that layer. I'm going to hide it. And then now we're going to go to the piece that I have already traced. Now, as you can see, it's really big. The grid on the screen I have set up so it's a 1 inch by 1 inch grid. And what I did is after I traced the entire object, here, let me zoom out so we can see it. Oh, wrong way. After I traced the whole thing, I measured the width of the neck, which was a little over 2 inches, and then I selected the entire thing, so Control A, and I went to Object Transform, and I went to Scale. and I just increased it by 10%, scale proportionally. You want to make sure that box is checked. So it's 110%. If I hit apply, it would increase it by 10%, because if you just scale it at 100, then it's going to leave it alone. So if you want to go up 10%, you have to do 110. And so I just messed with the scale until I got the size that I needed. Now, if you were going to be printing off of a plotter or some large format printer, this is all you need to do. You just save this file, you go and you take it to your printer and you get it printed off. If we're going to use PosterRaiser, we need to export this as a bitmap. So you come over here, you go to export bitmap. Now I always come over and I change the units right here from pixels to inches, and it says it's 25.297 inches wide. You could come down here and count the squares, since the squares are inches, and make sure that what you're exporting is the same size, because occasionally they want to try to, change your dimensions for no reason whatsoever. Right. So when you export it, it will save it as a PNG. So if I hit export right now, it would save it as this little link right here. I've already done that, so I'm not going to save over it. So then we're done with Netscape, and we come over and open PosterRaiser. We're going to need to load an image in, and here is the PNG that we had created. And there we go. There's our axe. Now it's going to tell you size in pixels, size in centimeters. So we go next. This software comes preset for A4 paper, so you're going to want to change it to letter if you're in the US. And then you can choose whether or not it's going to print landscape or portrait. This is a very wide piece, so it makes sense to print it portrait. I changed all of the borders so that they're just 1 centimeter borders, so we can get as much printing onto a single page as we can. Then next, you can choose where the overlap is. It defaults to bottom right, and that's what I leave it at. And it's a 1 centimeter overlap, which means that it will print that same 1 centimeter on either side of the image. So when we go here, where these pink lines are, that's going to be printed on both, like this sheet right here and then this sheet right here. And it does that so when you are lining all of your sheets up, it makes it much easier to get everything matched evenly. So that's how many pages that your piece is going to print out. You hit next, you save the poster as a PDF and launch it in Adobe Reader and print out your pieces. And then all you have to do is trim them up and tape them together, and you have your paper blueprints for the piece that you're going to build. Now that we have our paper plans, we got to move on to actually building the darn thing. Now, seeing as how this is our for fun costumes, don't want to spend a whole lot of money. And I also want to try out a new technique that I saw on the internet. So this guitar bass axe thing, the core of it, like a big chunk of the body, is going to be made out of cardboard. Now I saw a thing online talking about making basically cardboard plywood, because corrugated cardboard has a grain, the way the channels run. So if you take multiple sheets and you glue them together with the channels running in opposite directions, you get a material with a good amount of structural integrity. Also, it will readily absorb fiberglassing resin and Bondo, so it'll be very easy to do finishing work on it. So I've got the body of the axe traced out on that. We're going to go out to the garage and cut that out. I am still slightly worried though, since I've never used cardboard like this before, about attaching the base neck directly to the cardboard. So I'm going to do a back plate in some thin plywood, and that's what the neck of the base is going to attach to, and then the rest of the cardboard will be adhered to this. so I won't have any load-bearing parts on that cardboard center. Anyways, it's time to go out to the garage and start cutting. Okay, well that went way easier than I expected. The cardboard cut like a dream with the jigsaw, and I was kind of afraid that it would start peeling or just like delaminating while I was either cutting or sanding it, but I didn't have any problems. So so far, really liking this way to build. We'll see how I feel when I have to start, coating it in fiberglass resin and Bondo and all that fun garbage. But yeah, I think this will kind of wrap it up for this first little video here. Next time we will, show more progress on this and the other prop that I'm working on, Demon Sword.